Do you want me to be very frank? My mother was a very good Shanghainese tailor for cheongsam, qipaos and suits. My father's superior, which is a chief pharmacist, she was British, always bring her clothes, her suits, to get my mother to knock off. I would help my mother to do hemming and stitching and all that. So at a young age, I was already involved in the technical side. My mother went help me to buy the sewing machine, the cutting table, all the tools and all that. And then 3 months later, she just passed away like that. And she never witnessed my career at all. One day I happened to flip through her world magazine and saw, hey, there's a young designers contest, interesting. And you know I like to draw. So just doodle 4 sketches, send in. 2 weeks later, she just called me up and told me, oh, you're selected as one of the 10 finalists. When I entered for the contest and went up to receive the merit prize, it did hit upon me that, you know, I wish my mother was here. But my sister, my elder sister, has always been very supporting. She was the one that stood by me from the day I started until today. The government did encourage, you know, especially the TV media, to help the young designers. The media are the ones who make the designers, actually. When you're the first group, you're always so-called being recognized and nurtured. And when you show results, you are always in everybody's support. The young designers today are so difficult to nurture. Nowadays, the designers do not have anybody they can cultivate or they can work with. So they depend on the local contractors. So every young designers go to all these contractors and everything comes out the same. That kind of quality, that kind of standard. You don't call yourself a designer when you start selling cheap. The designer brand is supposed to look luxurious. I sell under a Thomas Reed label. I believe that there's a premium to it. If you want to sell expensive, you make sure that your fabric, the workmanship, your cut, your everything has got to be, you know, up to a certain standard. My philosophy is I only dress intelligent women, and they know what is a well-cut quality suit is all about. There was a time when I was doing a lot of block colorings, especially when I was doing my mixables. All my suits were in primary block colors. That's why at one time television borrows a lot of my suits for newscasters. These are the people who walks out in a Thomas Reed and sell a Thomas Reed. So the Singapore designers, they should do that also, to cultivate the new group of intelligent women. Very soon I'll be going online selling my relaunch of the new Mixables. I think suits should be brought back. So I'm selling online with a whole range of my classic Mixables in my classic colors. Whether they are local students or foreign students, I just find that a lot of them has got very bad upbringing. They do not know what impeccable tailoring is all about. And most of them do not study their clothes. They all, of course, has come up with all these things expecting tailors to solve their problem. So when you're designing problem, they expect somebody else to solve their problem. Worst of all, whether it's a bustier gown or a high neck gown, there's no zip opening, there's no fastening at all. So they expect the customer to turn into a snake and crawl in. I've not come across one that became a fashion writer. To me, fashion education doesn't necessarily make you a fashion designer. But there are a lot of jobs, you know, in this creative field that requires people with a fashion education. Like, as I say, fashion journalism, fashion writing. Besides styling, everybody wants to become a stylist. But after that, how? They couldn't move on because they can't write for nuts. I don't say I'm obsessed with cooking, but when I miss my mother, I think the kitchen and all those food that I buy from the market reminds me very much of her. Cooking becomes so-called something that is very personal and very close. I love, you know, to potter around in my kitchen. I mean, I can cook at 3 a.m. in the early morning, cut my onions and slice my ginger and fry chicken wings or my minced pork with salted fish and boil my fragrant rice and sit there and eat and enjoy my food myself. To me, that is warmth.